So she's the new character who just released, and she's called Ineffa, and she's the first playable character from Nod Cry. As for her weapon type, she's a polearm user, and she is a robot too. So talking about Ineffa herself, her main role is going to be that of a support. Her kit is built around buffing Electro team damage through a totally new type of Electro reaction, and it's called Lunar Charged Reaction. Other than that, she also provides a shield, which is decent, so we'll understand everything about her kit today. If you have been regularly buying Welkins or doing top-ups in Genshin, then I have some good news for you, which is that you can save lots of money just by doing these things through Lootbar. Since Lootbar offers everything from the in-game shop at a discounted price, you could be saving up to 25%. And using the website is really simple as well. To use it, just click the link down below to open the website. Then just select the pack you want, then enter your server and UID, and lastly your payment method, and you're done. The items arrive in less than a minute, and the service itself is totally reliable and safe. You can use it not only for Genshin but for lots of other games as well. New users also get a 10% discount coupon, so be sure to use it the next time you plan on buying something for someone in-game. So starting off with her kit, her normal attacks aren't anything special, so we can skip that. Now going to her skill, after clicking it, she'll deal AoE electro damage and create a shield and spawn a companion robot, who's called Brigitte. Now what Brigitte does is, if there's any enemy close to it, it'll move close to that opponent and deal AoE electro damage to it once every 2 seconds for 20 seconds. And as for the shield she spawns, it'll be an electro shield based on Ineffa's attack. Now as for the cooldown of the skill, it has a cooldown of 16 seconds, while both her shield and Brigitte last on the field for 20 seconds, so she'll have a 100% uptime on her skill. Going to her burst, it has an energy cost of 60, which is good, and the burst itself is a nuke. Also, after using her burst, she'll spawn Brigitte where she used her burst, and if Brigitte is already on the field before using her burst, the burst will just reposition it and reset its cooldown. Now that you understand both her skill and burst, let's look at both their multipliers at talent level 10. As for her talent leveling priority, you'd want to level up her skill first, then her burst, and lastly her normal attacks. Now let's understand the Lunar Charged Reaction. So in short, it's technically a new reaction with the same 2 elements, them being Hydro and Electro, and to trigger it you'll need a Nod Karai character and a Hydro unit. So after you mix the elements, instead of converting into electrocharged like it normally would, it'll be converted into Lunar Charged Reactions. Now the upsides of this are that it'll create a persistent thundercloud over enemies that continuously deals AoE electro damage, and Lunar Charged Reactions can crit as well, allowing higher reaction damage. So it's similar to the Night Soul mechanic, of how it was limited to Natlon characters only, so similarly for this reaction you'll specifically need Nod Karai characters, or it won't be triggered. Now going to her passives, her first passive says that if there are thunderclouds created by Lunar Charged Reactions nearby when Brigitte deals AoE electro damage, Brigitte will deal extra damage equal to 65% of Ineffa's attack. The second passive improves her burst, as after using her burst, Ineffa and all your active party members will have their elemental mastery increased by 6% of Ineffa's attack for 20 seconds. Finally, the last passive says when you trigger electrocharged reactions, those reactions will be converted into lunar charged reactions, and every 100 attack that Ineffa has will increase the lunar charged reaction damage by 0.7%, up to a maximum of 14%. Now that we have covered everything her kit does, let's briefly recap the things about her. So Ineffa is an off-field support and DPS. Her skill allowed her to create a shield and summon her companion, who applies and deals electro damage at intervals. Her burst is pretty much just a nuke. And as for her passives, the first passive just talked about how Ineffa's summon will deal extra damage whenever there are thunderclouds nearby. The second passive talked about what a lunar charged reaction was. And the last passive gives elemental mastery to all your active party members after using Ineffa's burst. Now that that's done, let's understand how to build her. Starting off with her weapons, your first choice should be her signature weapon called the Fractured Halo. Now this is really good for her and can be quite decent for others too. As for its passives, it'll increase your attack after using an elemental skill or burst, and if the equipping character creates a shield, all party members will deal 40% increased lunar charge damage. If you won't pull for this and want some alternative options, then for 5-star weapons, you can use the the Staff of the Scarlet Sands, Symphonist of Scents, Calamity Queller, Staff of Homa, or the Lumidaus Elegy. Now if you don't have these and want some 4-star options for her, then you can go with either Ballad of the Fjords, Deathmatch, Missive Wind Spear, Kit Ein Cross Spear, or the limited event weapon called the Tamayura T. Now looking at her artifacts, you can use either Gilded Dreams, Thundering Fury, or the Tenacity of the Millilith. Thundering Fury has also been included for lunar charged reactions, but aside from that, the other options are Gilded Dreams and Tenacity of the Millilith. That being said, lunar charged is more of a 6.0 mechanic, so there's a pretty good chance of having a more dedicated artifact set for Ineffa from 6.0, so I'd suggest waiting until 6.0 before starting to farm any artifacts. Still, if you're going to farm the above-mentioned pieces, then the artifact stats you'd want are attack percentage or energy recharge on Sands and attack percentage or elemental mastery on Goblet. Just go with whichever piece has a better crit value. Lastly, crit rate and damage on the Circlet. As for the substats of these artifacts, try to have an energy recharge around 130 to 160%, crit rate and damage, flat attack, attack percentage, and elemental mastery. Going to her team comps, you can go with Nuvolette, Kazuha, me, and Ineffa, or you could use something like Clorand, me, Shilonan, and Ineffa, or Arlecchino, Bennett, Yelon, and Ineffa. You get the overall idea. Going to her constellations, her C1 is pretty good, as it buffs her lunar charge damage even more, as now after using her shield, she'll get an effect called the Carrier Flow for 20 seconds, which will increase her lunar charge damage by 2.5% for every 100 attacks that Ineffa has, up to a maximum of 50%. Going to her C2, after Ineffa uses her burst, the burst will apply an effect to the enemies it hits, and what this effect does is, after the enemy that has been marked with this effect gets defeated, all the nearby enemies take AoE electro damage equal to 300% of Ineffa's attack. Additionally, after using the burst, it'll also provide a shield for all the active characters. Going to her C3, it'll increase the level of her skill by 3. Going to her C4, it'll help her with energy recharge, as her C4 restores 5 energy for her whenever your own party members trigger lunar charged reactions. This effect can only be triggered once every 5 seconds. Her C5 will increase her burst level by 3. Lastly, going to her C6, it's kind of an extension of C1, as now, after Ineffa gets the Carrier Flow effect, she will deal AoE electro damage equal to 135% of her attack to opponents who are near the current active character after the thunderclouds hit the opponents. Lastly, talking about her best and worst constellations, her best constellations are going to be both C1 and C2 as usual. So finally, is Ineffa worth pulling? Well, she's Electro support who offers a reliable shield, buffs your team's elemental mastery, and deals consistent off-field AoE electro damage. Not only that, but she also introduces a new reaction which is really strong. Her kit makes her valuable in both supportive and sub-DPS roles. Now should you skip her? Definitely not, unless you're planning to get someone else and have been saving for them.